From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Our top story this evening. Today, a Superior Court judge reviewed what many believe to be crucial evidence held under seal for the Fbx 4.
This judge will determine if that evidence will be admitted in the case.
We were there as supporters awaited an answer.
After months of review from behind closed doors, Superior Court Judge Paul Lyle heard testimony on whether or not to admit sealed evidence in the case of the Fbx 4.
I think that document contains a confession to the murder of John Hartman by Jason Wallace. And I think there's a lot of reason to think that it's there. I mean, we know that, according to the brief, it's statements made by Jason Wallace, under seal, subject to client confidentiality.
For months, the Alaska Innocence Project has claimed this statement could corroborate a confession made by William Holmes in 2011.
Watching people ask for transparency is one thing. Them not getting it is a total different. And in that way, I see anger and frustration, and I feel that too.
It's a major piece of this case. Not only did they confessed to beating up John Hartman, some of them are also in prison for killing other people.
Family members say it's been a long road, one that has left many of them questioning the Fairbanks Police Department.
When I first heard about everything, I wanted it to be such a quick process, like a 2-month ordeal, a month ordeal, but
it's hard. It's very hard not to be able to be in there to look at the judge to see what he has to say.
After over 5 hours of waiting for that answer, the parties emerged. Lyle decided to take the testimony and evidence under advisement before making an immediate ruling.
He said he would try and do it as quickly as possible. I don't think the case rests on it. I think there's in my mind, a significant case for these gentlemen's innocence.
Tune in tomorrow as we look deeper into the case and what could be contained inside the confidential files. I'm Stephanie Woodard reporting.
It wasn't snow but frost that caused slippery roads early this morning. Officials with the Department of Transportation urge drivers to be cautious when commuting to and from work. DOT spokeswoman Meadow Bailey says that winter driving will always carry more risk than summer driving. That's because frigid weather conditions like snow, ice, and even frost prevent tires from getting traction on the streets. Bailey says that drivers should take extra precautions by keeping a good distance between vehicles and going slower than posted speed limit signs. She also says that keeping your headlights on whenever your vehicle is running is a good idea to let other drivers know where you are on the road.
We get so many complaints that people, aren't using their headlights, and it's been talked about that it should be put into law that the headlights need to be on 24 hours in Alaska, especially in the winter. We have so many times of the day where we've just got minimal sun, so a good rule of thumb is just keep your headlights on all the time during the winter if you can.
The Fairbanks Board of Education's Legislative Committee meets tomorrow evening. The 7-member body is scheduled to discuss legislative priorities, capital projects, and funding as the school district begins to look at the fiscal year 2016 budget. The 2015 budget came in at $281 million last June. Now, the district's 2 main sources of funding are the state of Alaska and the Fairbanks North Star Borough. With falling oil prices and forecasted budget gaps, the state legislature will be cash-strapped this coming session. School Board President Heidi Haas is expecting an uphill battle.
We're climbing a hill, and it's could be compared to Mount McKinley at this point, but it's a big hill, and so we are going to have to really work together as a team to collaborate. Everybody's going to have to kind of put their thinking caps on so that we can come together and figure out how we can move things forward.
Okay, when we come back, there was quite a bit of excitement over the weekend at the Fairbanks Diocese as a new bishop was named to replace Bishop Kettler, who left last year.
Also, tomorrow, local residents will have an opportunity to recognize veterans for their service to our country with a special ceremony. Those stories are next. Welcome back to the Fbx Evening News. It has been a year since Bishop Donald Kettler was called to leave Fairbanks and serve in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Since then, the Fairbanks Diocese has been under the leadership of Archbishop Robert Schweitz of Anchorage. Now, on Saturday, the diocese announced Kettler's permanent replacement. Jamie Schwartzwald has the story in this report filed that day.
You've prayed that prayer for a new bishop, and you prayed it well, and God has listened. Please welcome Bishop-elect Chad.
Archbishop Schweitz introduced Reverend Chad W. Zelensky as Bishop-elect to the Fairbanks Diocese. Pope Francis appointed Zelensky in October, and the formal announcement was made Saturday morning in Fairbanks. Bishop-elect Zelensky says he learned of the appointment through an unexpected and early morning phone call from the Vatican.
Our Holy Father, Pope Francis, has appointed you as the Bishop of Fairbanks. I said, what? Very humbling, yeah. When God calls you to do something, and then I think it's humbling in a sense too that you don't feel that you're qualified to do something that's so big.
Zelensky has been prayerful since the appointment.
Fasting is a powerful form of prayer, so I dedicated a lot of time to fasting and prayer.
Zelensky, a major in the Air Force, has been assigned to Eielson Air Force Base since 2012, serving as Deputy Wing Chaplain of the 354th Fighter Wing. He will now oversee a vast area of Alaska and plans to reach out to his diocese as any airman would.
Yeah, with an airplane. Yeah, with 409,000 square miles, I guess roughly twice the size of the state of Texas. That's immense. And so, as they say, there's a wideness in God's mercy.
The Fairbanks Diocese has been rocked by sexual abuse allegations, lawsuits that led to a near $10 million settlement, and a bankruptcy filing in 2008. Most recently, Clint Landry, a Fairbanks priest, was indicted on a federal charge of attempting to produce child pornography. Bishop-elect Zelensky says the diocese must heal.
If you look at the people of God as the mystical body of Christ, anytime there's a wound in that, one is that it requires us to pay attention to where is that woundedness. We need to turn to each other as brothers and sisters in Christ and bring that healing.
Bishop-elect Zelensky and Archbishop Schweitz departed Fairbanks Saturday afternoon to attend the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops Fall General Assembly in Baltimore. Bishop-elect Zelensky's ordination and installation is scheduled for December 15th at the Carlson Center. A Vesper prayer service will take place the night prior at Sacred Heart Cathedral. Jamie Schwartzwald reporting.
Tomorrow will be a day for all Americans to stop and pay tribute to the veterans of past conflicts. Over 75,000 veterans live in Alaska, more per capita than any other state. Tomorrow morning at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, a ceremony will take place at the Westmark Gold Room to honor the veterans. Organizers say the ceremony will be filled with memories, tears, and this year something special from a second grade class at Weller Elementary School.
Season, we have a second grade class from Weller School coming in. They'll be performing for the veterans, a show that they've put together the last couple of years, and they're bringing it to us at the Westmark this year. We're excited to have the second graders join us for Veterans Day and hope all the parents will come out and enjoy Veterans Day and honor our country's veterans.
The University of Alaska Fairbanks will lead a new project to enhance mining workforce training throughout the state. The project, funded by an $8.1 million federal grant, will include partners at several of the state's campuses. The pay in the mining industry averages about $100,000 a year, but many of the jobs are difficult to fill because there is nowhere in the state for people to train. The new certificate program will offer several options for education, and several mining companies will assist the programs by developing a simulator for mill operator training.
Okay, well, Joe Cook is coming up next with the weekend recap.
That's right, Nook and Ice Dogs hockey highlights, plus one team goes undefeated. Find out who and more, including the new I-5, after the break.
Cook here with your weekend recap. General Manager Rob Profit may have to change the Ice Dogs name to Fire Dogs because they are in fuego. Saturday night, the Ice Dogs defeated the Kenai River Brown Bears 8-5 for their 9th straight victory, tying last year's season-long win streak. Kenai led 2-0 early on and still led 4-3 going into the final period, but the Ice Dogs erupted for 5 goals in the third to get the win. Chandler Mondry at Fairbanks led all skaters with 2 goals and 2 assists. And Yannick Vidal, he provided what would be the game-winning goal after an amazing pass from Lonnie Clary via skate. Next up are the Wenatchee Wild in a 3-game series starting this Thursday at the Dip. Fairbanks leads the Raven Alaska Cup Series 3-1 over the Brown Bears. They outscored Kenai 17-6 this weekend.
They had us on the ropes, and it could have been worse than 2-0. Fortunately, Chase made a couple big saves for us and timely saves. We knew they were going to come hard, and guys just got their legs under them halfway through the period probably. And it's a short turnaround, so we don't have a lot of time to think about what's in the past. We have to look forward to the future, which is on Thursday already.
And the Nanac hockey team faced Bowling Green Saturday night at the Carlson Center, looking for some redemption after falling short 2-3 on Friday night. It was all Falcons early on as they skated to a 3-0 lead with goals from Ben Murphy, Matt Polkamp, and Mark Cooper. But it wasn't quite over yet. UAF, they would get 2 goals in under a minute. 11:51 into the second period. Marcus Bassar, he gets the Nooks on the board to make it a 3-1 game. And seconds later, Tyler Morley finds Austin Veith, and Veith answers the call, closing the gap to 1. That's all Alaska could muster as Tommy Burke closed the door with 36 saves, and the Falcons would hold on for a 3-2 win. UAF is now 5-5 after their 5th straight loss. The Nanac volleyball team suffered another loss to their rivals on Saturday. UAA set the tone early with a 25-11 win in the opening set. Caitlin Zanders had a game-high 11 kills to lead the Sea Wolves. West Valley's own Juliet Mackey had 9 kills in her return home. UAF battled back in the second set in a tit-for-tat game. Brooke Mattice led the Nooks with 10 kills and put UAF up 23-22. But the Sea Wolves closed out with the next 3 points to win the set. UAA got the third set 25-12 for the sweep. Is UAA's 20th win. Alaska drops to 3-21 on the year and will wrap up the season this week at home against Western Washington and Simon Fraser. Interior swim teams posted some top 10 finishes at the ASAA Swim and Dive State Championships over the weekend. West Valley's Tommy O'Donohue missed out on back-to-back 100 breaststroke titles by 0.3 of a second to Colony's Joe Anderson, who outtouched Donahue at the wall. Zach Campbell of Lathrop earned bronze in 1-meter diving. West Valley's Angie Randall was 4th in the 200 freestyle. The Wolfpack as a team finished 7th in the girls' standings. Hutch was 14th and North Pole 16th. In boys, West Valley placed 10th. Lathrop was 12th and North Pole finished 17th. The Diamond boys won the team title and Juneau won the girls' crown. Saturday was championship day for interior volleyball teams. West Valley secured their 6th straight MAC title, but out in Delta Junction, Hutchinson was trying to keep their season alive. The Hawks, however, fell in 4 sets, 20-25, 25-23, 16-25, 21-25 to Valdez in the losers bracket final. The Valdez Buccaneers clinched a state berth with the win. Monroe played the Bucks in the final. Now the Rams defeated Valdez early on Saturday to punch their ticket to state. The Rams swept Valdez 25-20, 25-21, 25-19. Monroe finishes the 2014 season undefeated, going 15-0 in the regular season and 3-0 in the Aurora tournament. That's back-to-back Aurora Conference titles for Monroe as well.
Everyone stepped up. You know, we didn't have Spalding, and she's a big piece of the team. And, you know, everyone, defense and offense, really stepped up so we could all come together and get the win. So.
We lost the first 2 games earlier, and we came back. We ended up winning that 1 in 5. And it just shows the resiliency we have this year that we haven't had normally.
We haven't ever had a team like this before. We've never actually had chemistry together. And finally, we have a good team. We know we can win state. It's just we have to play to get there.
Now here's the best of the best from this week's sports action in the I-5 Interior Top 5 Plays.
5 career nights for Patriots. James Lasloffy gets his first career hat trick, and McCoy Walker gets his first career shutout as North Pole beats Monroe 8-0 in the high school hockey season opener on Tuesday. At number 4, more hockey. Matthias Mugala gets 2 goals against Delta as Monroe wins 5-3 in the hit tourney opener. The Rams will go on to win the tournament. At number 3, the West Valley volleyball team 6-peats as MAC volleyball champs, sweeping North Pole on Saturday, and they will go to state. At number 2, the Fairbanks Ice Dogs offensive explosion. Fairbanks wins 9-1 on Friday and 8-5 over Kenai River on Saturday for the sweep, scoring 17 goals in the process. And at number 1, the Monroe volleyball team finishes undefeated in the Aurora Conference, going 18-0 after going 3-0 in the Aurora Conference tournament on Saturday for back-to-back titles, sweeping Valdez in the final. To select the play of the week, go to the KTVF Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter pages, comment on the post, or email Joe Cook at KTVF11.com for your pick. The play of the week will be revealed this Friday.
The I-5 Sports Report is brought to you by Adient Orthopedic Physical Therapy.
And that'll do it for sports tonight. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back into the Fairbanks Evening News. Mike Schultz with you. Hope you had yourself a good weekend. Not a whole lot going on weather-wise. Again, clear to partly cloudy skies. That is the rule all the way through into the weekend, the way it looks right now. No snow on the horizon and no real cold temperatures. So I guess it's not a bad trade-off. We'll talk more weather in just a little bit. Our photograph for tonight, this one is sent in by Wayne Jex. a Tanana River sunrise. You can see beautiful shot there. It's almost like you're right out there. It's so vivid. And again, if you have a photograph to send, by all means, send it to photos@ktvf11.com, and we'll share it with the rest of the audience, like we do with our weather photograph, or weather calendar, I should say. Mike's Fab Photos calendar is out now. It's free at many locations around the interior, including the Fudge Pot and Big Daddy's Barbecue. Just to offer a few, we'll be telling you each night where you can pick them up, but they are free, and they make a nice Christmas stocking stuffer, if nothing else, and you'll have it for the upcoming year. Here's our numbers. Our almanac looks like this. As you can see, our high today, 33 degrees over freezing. The low last night, 21 degrees, and right now it is 21 degrees. The record high, 49, 1997, and 42 below in 1989. What a contrast in temperatures there. Sunrise this morning at 9:14, sunset this afternoon at 3:57. That works out to about 6 hours and 43 minutes of daylight, a loss of 6 minutes from yesterday. On our satellite and radar, again, a little bit of cloudiness and moisture trying to work its way up past the Alaska Range, but not having a whole lot of luck there. As you can see, most of it's being captured across the Prince William Sound area, and the storm system that was the big monster is just about gone now, not really influencing us except giving a lot of southerly flow. And that's reflected in the temperatures. Look at the temperatures all the way across the southern half of the state. Kodiak at 45, 41 at Cold Bay. Some showers around the Anchorage area, 43 degrees there, still warm. It's cleared out, nice sunshine over southeast Alaska, 38 degrees at Juneau. Up and down the west coast, temperature is pretty nice, 35 at Nome, even 23 degrees at Barrow, and Fort Yukon, 7 degrees. Lower 48 weather looks like this, and over the northwest, it's partly cloudy skies, not too bad. It's cooled off a little bit in the San Francisco area. Still nice around Las Vegas, 84 degrees. Snow is falling across the Minneapolis area, and for good reason. We'll show you why in just a minute. And up and down the eastern seaboard, things look pretty good. 61 in New York, 74 degrees in New Orleans. Okay, the satellite radar kind of gives you an idea of this cold air that is dropping down from the north to the south and really showing up the pink, indicating where all the frozen precipitation is at. And it drops down all the way past the Missouri area into much of Kansas, and the Denver area saw a temperature drop of almost 20 degrees in a very short period of time. And what's going to happen is this Arctic air is going to expand tomorrow to bring a lot of snow shower activity across much of the central and northern sections of the states. And the overall outlook is calling for the jet stream to remain well to the north and allowing more cold air to move in across the Great Lakes while giving warm, dry conditions out to the west. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow in the northern sections, mostly cloudy at Barrow, partly cloudy at Fort Yukon, rain and snow expected for Nome. Here in the interior, we'll be looking at another great day, partly cloudy at Fairbanks and Delta, just a few more clouds in the Healy area. Over southeast Alaska, scattered clouds across the region, and temperatures very mild. Over to the southwest, looking at rain and snow in Bethel, rain showers for Cold Bay and rain expected at Kodiak Island. And over the south central regions, rain showers at Anchorage and Homer, and rain is likely in Valdez. Okay, it's a new week. Once again, time for our kids' weather and a new school. And this week we're going to be visiting with the kids from Hunter Elementary School. And today we have an interesting story from a young man who was caught in a storm.
One day I saw purple lightning. I was at the park and it was getting dark, so we decided to go home. Then we heard a loud crackle. When we looked up and saw that it was a square, and then the lights went out. We went inside. 2 minutes later, the lights came on, then we went home.
And as always, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank for sponsoring our kids' weather. Tomorrow night, another young man will be here with a picture to share with us of a storm. So lots of stormy conditions over there to talk about. Here's your forecast for tonight. No storms here. 24 degrees for the overnight low. Very mild. Mostly clear skies, maybe some auroras out. Tomorrow's forecast looking at 34 degrees, partly cloudy early, becoming mostly cloudy by afternoon. And the extended forecast, temperatures cooling off a little bit, and then maintaining right around 30 degrees right on for daytime highs into the weekend and through the first part of next week. Also, overnight lows will be very, very mild this time of year. The overnight low should be around 3 degrees below zero, 26 below for the overnight low on Wednesday night, and then cooling off a little bit, but still way above normal for this time of year.
So that's interesting. You know, the lower 48 seems to be, just like last year, getting some severe weather, and we're just up here.
Polar vortex.
The Polar Express.
Yes, that too. Right. Yeah, that too. It's being brought in by the.
But I mean, is that a trend that's happening?
Well, we are in an El Nino year, and when that happens, all bets are off. Everything goes crazy.
Well, hey, we are warmer, so.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Applauding Mother Nature right now.
Very good. All right, thank you, Mike, and that will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We're glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, laundry detergent pods are proving dangerous to kids. That's next with Brian Williams.
And join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
Well, from all of us here at the News Center, have a good night. See you at 11.